Hey, how you doing? Listen, this is one of the most powerful chapters in this book right here. In this book right here, this book where I've read it so much, I'm ripping the cover off this thing from my sweat and my enthusiasm, right? The book of Think and Grow Rich. That's right. Think and Grow Rich. Think of that title, okay, and understand the concept behind that book. He didn't say work and grow rich. He didn't say break rocks and get rich. He didn't say work your ass off for 25 years and get rich. He said think and grow rich. And saying that, this chapter right here is probably one of the most exciting chapters that I can talk about. And it is the chapter on faith. Faith. Wow. How many of you guys have faith? What do you believe in? Yes. Got my little jazz going here. Gets me amped up, gets me excited so that I can bring this energy that I have right here on this side, right there to that side of the camera, guys. And that's what I'm going to do. Now, understand faith, right? Faith, when blended with thought, right? The subconscious mind instantly, right, picks up those vibrations, right? And it translates those vibrations into the spiritual equivalent. And what happens is those spiritual equivalent vibrations are then transmitted to infinite intelligence, okay, as in the case of prayer. You know, I grew up in a religious household. This is what it is, right? And my family was always in prayer, right? But the problem with the prayer that my family was in was it was always in the moments of desperation. It was always in the moments of fear. It was always in the wrong mindset. Oh, please, please, please help me. No, that is not how you come about, okay, achieving what you want. So when I get into this chapter of faith and I go through it as Napoleon Hill has broken it down in his book, I want you guys to learn from it. And when you learn from it, I want you to grow from it, right? And when you grow from it, I want you to teach someone else how to have faith. That's what I want you to do. All right. I want this to be a plague bigger than the COVID-19 currently going on right now. A plague bigger than that. It's called the plague of faith. So be strong, teach this, right? Learn it and teach it as I teach it to you. Okay. Now, the most powerful of all our positive emotions are these three: it is faith, right? The power of faith, the power of love, and the power of sex. That's right. Those three are the most powerful of all our positive emotions, right? And if you can blend all three, the result of blending all three is, oh my God, explosive, explosive goal achieving, okay, mind blowing accomplishments in your life will occur. It will occur if you can have the mastery to blend all three. Now, trust me, when we are done with all of this, you are going to be able to blend all three. I'm going to teach you the concepts that you need, and you are going to grow from each and every single one of these principles. And as I break down, this is the second principle in your journey to creating the riches and wealth that you want. Okay, so how do you develop faith, right? Before we do that, let me open up, as I love to do, let me open up the whiteboard, right? Um, Obviously, faith is the second step toward riches. Okay, the first step, guys, was desire, right? And we're not talking about some lukewarm desire. We're talking about that heated, white heat desire to have something, right? To have something that you truly want. If you don't have that white heat desire, then guys, listen, find what the hell gets you pumped the fuck up, right? Find it. Do some studying, do some research, but learn what it is that you get excited about. Me, I'm excited about teaching. And the reason I'm excited about teaching is because after 28 years of law enforcement, okay, embedded in my mind is do not leave a person behind. We don't leave nobody behind. So because of the fact that it's ingrained in my mind that I'm leaving somebody behind, if I don't teach them what I learned and what I know, I am passionate and excited about it. And I can give that to you. I can inject that same passion into you as you learn, as you grow, and then you go out there and you teach the next person, right? So understand this, right? Visualization and belief in the attainment of desire is what faith is. It is. Faith is the head chemist. It is the head chemist of the mind. It is what you need. It is the main ingredient, what you need to drive your goals and visions forward. It is what you need, guys. Understand that, right? Um, Now, so how do you develop faith? Because I'm gonna tell you what, when I came up, as I told you guys before, in a church household. As a matter of fact, let's be honest. I came up in a church and alcohol household, right? So both were believed and cherished, and it's what it is. Sunday was church day, Saturday was alcohol day. That's how it went down in my house. And so we're just being totally transparent as I teach you guys and learn you guys the steps that I didn't learn when I was younger, but I learned as I got older because I began to read and to seek the nourishment and knowledge of gaining more. So understand that, right? Now, the lessons that I learned every week, right? The Sunday lessons were from the preachers and from my parents. I mean, trust me, they all tried to say the right thing. They said the right words, okay? They tried to teach the right lessons. They taught from the good book of the Bible, and they said all of the right things. But the problem is, as a young person, a lot of times we follow examples of people's lifestyles, how they're living, what they're doing, okay? And it doesn't seem like they're truly happy in what they're doing because, to be honest, when you're younger, what do you want? The same thing you want when you're older, guys. You want to be happy. We all want to be happy. We all have that desire to be happy in life, whatever it takes, right? You need to use that, but we'll get into that a little further. Now, they all told me, my parents and preachers told me, you got to have faith, boy. You got to have faith, son. Have faith. They continually told me how to have faith. And to this day, none of them have ever explained to me exactly how to have faith. I am going to not let that go any further as I'm talking to you. You know, as I came up, um, I would ask over and over again, and they said, just, just have faith over and over again. And it was important to have faith. It was the key. As I told you guys before, it's the head chemist. So you need to have faith, but now you need to know how. So I'm going to tell you how to have faith, right? Faith starts and it is a state of mind which may be induced, right? You induce faith or create it, whatever you want to say, by affirmations or repeated instructions to your subconscious mind through the principle of auto suggestion. Now, we're going to get into the chapter of auto suggestion, but right now we're on the chapter of faith. So I want you guys to concentrate on faith. So know that eventually we're going to get to auto suggestion, and I'm going to have you guys repeatedly, okay, learn how to use auto suggestion to generate faith in your life and whatever you want to achieve so that you can achieve it in your life. Okay, so understand that, right? Now let's continue. Repetition of affirmation of orders to your subconscious mind is the only known method of the voluntary development of the emotion of faith. Nobody has ever read that to me in my entire adulthood until I read it in this book. Until I read it in this book, nobody has ever said that sentence to me. As a matter of fact, guys, I am not going to do you a disjustice. I'm going to write that sentence out to you so that you guys can screenshot it, whatever you want to do, and you can have that sentence, okay, ingrained in your mind for the rest of your life. Now, what did I say? Repetition of affirmation, of an affirmation. I'm gonna shrink this so it's a little smaller, guys. Repetition of an affirmation of orders to your subconscious mind is the only, right, known method. Is the only known method of voluntarily okay, there you go, guys. I'm gonna put this over here so you guys can see it. And that is the repetitions, all right, of affirmations of orders to your subconscious mind is the only known method of voluntary development of the emotion of faith. Meaning you got to repeat shit over and over again, guys. Over and over and over and over and over and over again. You have to repeat it, right? And once you repeat it, your subconscious mind then goes, oh, he's saying something to me. How many times do you guys have to repeat something to a child, right? Don't touch that. 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 Right? Over and over again. I got to the point of where repetition was very, very easy to me as a father raising children. Repetition. It is what gets through to the subconscious mind so that people act. Okay, so here's what I learned, right? I'm gonna type this out for you guys too. All thoughts which have been emotionalized, right, mean given feeling. So I'm gonna write that out. Let me make this a little smaller, guys. So all thoughts would have been emotionalized, meaning given feeling, right? And mixed with faith. Begin immediately to translate themselves, immediately begin to translate themselves into their physical equivalent. Right? Or counterpart. Okay, now understand that, guys. All thoughts, right, which have been emotionalized and mixed with faith began to translate themselves into their physical equivalent. And this is where auto suggestion comes in, guys. But I want you guys to know that you have to build up that faith in order to start to achieve the things that you want out of life, right? And it's that repetition of orders to your subconscious mind that help you to develop that. So you see the process that we're working out here that Napoleon Hill has broken down for you guys to truly, truly understand. Now, understand this, guys. You have to protect your thoughts at all costs. You have to protect your thoughts. You can't just let any type of thoughts just roam through your mind and just have their way at your life. You can't do that. It means too much. You can't let thoughts have their way with your mind, right? Because here's the deal, right? Whether you continually repeat to yourself, right? Whether the statement is true or false, you will begin to believe it, right? If you start telling yourself, I'm not good enough, I can't do this is too hard, I'm not good at math, I'm horrible at relationships. If you start repeating that self to yourself over and over and over again in every scenario you encounter, right, guys? You will believe it. Your subconscious mind will take it in as a fact, and those facts will be translated into every action that you have in those relationships, in math, in business, in sales, in whatever you do in your life. Your subconscious mind is your silent ruler. It is your silent ruler. It goes through your life telling you what to do in whispers. It whispers to you quietly so that you don't understand what's going on until it's too late. Don't let that happen to you guys. Don't let it happen to you, right? Because it doesn't matter whether those words are a lie or not, you will begin to act on those words, okay? Now, every man is what he is because of the dominating thoughts which he permits to occupy his mind. How about that? Every man, a matter of fact, I think I should write that down in a quote, guys. Write it down in a quote. How about that? Every man Now, when I write this down, it says dominating thoughts which he permits. He does it. It doesn't take over your mind, right? It doesn't take over your mind. You permit it. You allow this shit to happen. You let these thoughts come into your mind, and you let them dominate everything of who you are. You do it. You are the captain of your own ship. I told you that already. You're the master of your soul. I told you that already, guys. And if you allow negative thoughts to occupy your mind, this is what you will have: a negative life. You will have a negative life. Okay? Now, thoughts which a man deliberately places in his own mind and encourages those thoughts with sympathy and with which he mixes any one of the emotions constitute a motivating force which direct and control his every moment, act, and deed. Now you hear that? I'm gonna repeat that one more time so that you guys can write it down what I'm telling you. Thoughts which a man deliberately places in his mind, meaning I chose to place those thoughts in my mind. It is something that I wanted. I wrote them down, and I'm placing those thoughts in my mind through auto suggestion. So that is the process that I'm going through when it says deliberately places those thoughts in my mind, right? And encourages those thoughts with sympathy and with which he mixes any one or more of the emotions, positive emotions I suggested you guys. It constitutes the motivating forces which direct and control his every moment, act, and deed. So you want to encourage those positive emotions. You want to place in your mind what you want out of life. And what you want out of life has to be also driven with the emotion of faith, love, and sex. It can drive you to have the type of life that you want, guys. This is powerful and it is life changing. It was life changing to me, and I know that it will be life changing to you for you to have the life that you want. Okay. Now, understand this: thoughts which are mixed with any of the feelings of emotions constitute a magnetic, right? You guys understand a magnetic force which attracts other similar related thoughts. So if you got positive thoughts, they attract other positive thoughts. Negative thoughts attract other negative thoughts. Do you guys get that? Positive attracts positive and negative attracts negative. It's like a magnet, right? Because you know how when you flip a magnet on the opposite end, so you got the positive side and the negative side, and you go like this and they won't touch each other because they're forced to pull away from one another. It is the same thing with your emotions. Okay. A thought is compared to a seed, right? A seed, um, as in a plant seed, right? So I'm gonna just put this down. A thought is a seed. I'll put this down here out of the way so you guys can see but understand. So a thought is compared to a seed, guys. Now, what happens in the seed? What do you have to do with a seed in order for it to grow into the tree that you want, right? Obviously, guys, you got to water it. You got to water it frequently. It got to get lots of sunshine, right? That sunshine is those positive emotions, those good vibes. The watering is you're repeatedly, okay, feeding that thought, right? What else? What else does it need, right? You got to keep those weeds away. Those weeds are negative emotions, man. You guys keep bringing those negative emotions to that thought. You are going to kill it before it gets a chance to grow. You got to give it that momentum. So in the beginning, that thought takes tons of energy coming at it, okay, in order for it to have the proper nourishment just to break through the soil, just to break through the soil and begin to show some signs of life, right? But that's not the end. The weeds don't stop coming, right? Those negative friends don't stop coming around. They don't start calling, right? Negative people that you encounter in life, they don't stop telling you all of a sudden you can't do it. No, they don't. So you got to constantly protect yourself, putting up your guard, reading good material, listening to people telling you positive messages like this one right here, right? Reading books. I'm reading books to you guys every single day, like bedtime stories. Take this shit to bed, right? With you every night. Every night, I'm going to read you a positive book. How about that? Let's do it for 365 days. See how your life turns out next year. All right, write down this date. Write down this date. And then tell yourself next year, okay, when I'm reading this book once again, how you have grown and achieved many of the goals that you will achieve in your life. All right. So, how do you plant a seed in your mind? What does it take? How do you plant a seed in your mind? Right. Now, for many years, right, I did not know how to plant a seed in my mind. I had gone through different types of ways. Let me give some water right here, guys. I've gone through different types of ways to try to figure out how to plant the seed in my mind to have some of the things that I wanted out of life. I want some things out of life. I want some physical things. I want some emotional things, right? But more than anything else, guys, I want to be happy. So you can have all of the physical means that you can possibly achieve and still not be happy. You can have all of the emotional relationships and still not be happy. It all begins, I believe, guys, and this is me. Someone can tell you different, but I believe it all begins in you being happy. And happiness starts with just you, with what you have right now. And in order to be happy with what you have right now, it takes a shit ton of gratitude, right? A shit ton of gratitude. So understand that, guys. Now, for many years, negative programming, it was what it was. I had negative programming in my life, and I had to reprogram my mind, right, to believe that I deserved, right, to believe that I deserved what I dreamed of. So that, um, so what happened for me? What happened for me was I read this book, Think and Grow Rich. And once I read this book, Think and Grow Rich, um, what Napoleon Hill called the self-confidence formula, it helped me to delete tons of that negative programming that was going on and on and on in my life. And I'm going to type out the self-confidence formula for you guys right here on the left. And hopefully you guys can get the concept of the self-confidence formula. So now I'm gonna tell you about the self-confidence formula, guys. As I leave it over here, and I'll shrink it up, make it small. You guys can screenshot it, do what you want with it. But I read this self-confidence formula every single day of my life. Every single day of my life, I read the self-confidence formula, right? And in reading it, I read it with tons of emotion, tons of excitement, And I read it every morning when I wake up. I read it every night before I go to bed. And so I read that along with my definite chief aim. And then every night I read the chapter on order suggestion. But we will get to that. We will get to that. So let me break down this this self confidence formula. All right, and as I did yesterday, it says first, and I'm gonna shrink this, guys, so that I can fit it all in. And it says, I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action toward its attainment. And I here and now promise to render such action. All right, that is the first one, guys. Right? So, this is what it takes first. Second, bring that here, shrink it out for you guys. I realize that the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action. Themselves in outward physical action. And gradually transform themselves into physical reality. All right, so you heard all that. Gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, that's right, that's an action that you must do. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become. Therefore, creating in my mind a clear mental picture. That is the second. The third, guys, is probably gonna run out of room here, so I'm gonna put it right next to it, but don't worry about it. You guys will be able to screenshot the whole thing. The third is I know through the principle of autosuggestion which I told you we're gonna get into that, guys. It's a whole chapter on autosuggestion. I know through the principle of autosuggestion, any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of attaining the object in back of it. All right, so your mind is always working, guys, always working. Therefore, what do I need to do? I will devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of self-confidence. Development of self-confidence. How important is the development of self-confidence, guys? That is third. Fourth is pretty long. Fourth is pretty long, guys. And we'll get into that. Well, actually, fourth is not long. Fourth is short. But I'll still fit it right here, and then I'll just do a little bit of rearranging, guys, so we can get everything in here. How about I move my circles over? That's cool. We're gonna do circles at the end anyway, guys. Because you know me, I like my circles, and I like how it brings it all together at the end. This circle don't want to move. He is a very stubborn circle. All right, guys. And that's another thing, guys. I want you guys to understand. When you're teaching and you're trying to figure things out, you're making mistakes and things go on, just continue to teach. It is the energy that you guys give out that matters in the lesson. It is not your execution of every single thing that goes on while you're teaching. Understand that. All right. If somebody's here to learn, they will learn. All right. Now, fourth is shrink this up. I have clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim in life. Now, we'll never stop trying. Until I shall have developed sufficient self-confidence for its attainment. So sufficient self-confidence for its attainment. The fifth part of this formula is this, guys. And it is the last part. Computer's moving a little slow for me. Don't mind that. Fifth. Where are we at here? All right, fifth. I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. That is very, very important, and it is something that I live by, guys. Okay, truth and justice. Therefore, I will engage in no transaction and remember we talked about the win-win, which does not benefit. Does not benefit all whom it affects. Right? I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use, and the cooperation of other people. I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism by developing love for all humanity. These are negative emotions, by the way. Because I know that a negative attitude toward others could never bring me success. Right? I will cause others to believe in me because I will believe in them. And in myself, of course. And last but not least, I will sign my name to this formula. Uh, committed to memory. And repeat it out loud. He said once a day, but I say twice a day. Wow. That's right. So I will sign my name to this formula, commit it to memory, and repeat it out loud at least twice a day with full faith that it will gradually influence my thoughts and actions so that I will become a self reliant and successful person. How is that for a self-confidence formula, guys? And let's finish this off with a signature. I'm gonna sign it in red. How about this? All right. That is not my signature, but you guys get the point. All right. So anyway, guys, as I get into this, this is so important, and this is probably one of the most important parts of the chapter on faith, right? The self-confidence formula. I know for me, it was extremely important because I had a lot of programming. I had a lot of programming that I needed to get rid of in my life. I needed to deprogram myself, and this self confidence formula, as I did it each and every day, was the key to get me to start thinking in in a success mode, right? Start to believe in myself, start to have faith, right? I wanted to believe, but I didn't have faith, right, guys? So get that. I wanted to believe, but I didn't have faith. How many of you guys are going through that in life, right? You want to believe something, but you don't know how to believe it, right? You don't know what are the steps to take to get there to have faith. The second step toward riches, obviously. Okay, so Napoleon Hill goes on, uh, and he talks about a couple of stories. He talks about J.P. Morgan, which is one of the main stories. He talked about J.P. Morgan, Charles Schwab, actually, and how Charles Schwab, in a speech, an idea that he gave, went to Andrew Carnegie of creating one of the largest corporations in history, right? And that one idea, right, through his faith, transmuted into $600 million profit. $600 million profit. This is into 1900s, guys. This is in the 1900s that this man pulled up such a phenomenal feat. It was amazing, guys. And I want you guys to understand this, right? Um, as I wrap this up, I want to wrap it up with this right here. Okay, not this. Smoothing this out of the way here, guys. And what I want to do is smoothing it right here. Okay. With a poem that Napoleon Hill had in, I think that this poem pretty much states the importance of the entire chapter. And so I'll make it just a little bit, I'm not even gonna make it big. You guys can see it right here. And I'll read it out loud to you. If you think, and this poem, I'm gonna tell you guys over and over again, this poem moves me emotionally when I read it because it lets me know that it is up to me, not up to anybody else to create the life that I want, to have the riches that I want. It is up to me. And it is up to you, right? You have to take charge of your own life. You can't let other people dictate to you and point fingers at you and tell you the type of life that you want. You got to fight through that, guys. And so I want to read this poem and wrap it up to you guys. And here it goes. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win, but you think you can't, it is almost certain you won't. If you think you're lost, you're lost. For out of the world we find Success begins with the fellow's will. It's all in the state of mind. If you think you're outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. You got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. Life's battles do not always go to the faster man, but soon or late, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. All right, guys, it's all in the mindset. Have faith, believe, have a great night, and I'll talk to you guys later. I'm ending on that note.